Shakosh, and Ramadan, and the crisis after the major revolutions and transformations. Festival's singer, Hassan Shakoush, has become the talk of the Egyptian street, after he entered the line of artist Mohamed Ramadan, and exceeded it in the percentage of views on YouTube after his song, Bint Al Jeeran, achieved more than 77 million views, bringing unprecedented financial profits. Millions were busy with the song Shakush, and many of the pioneers of social networking competed in the attack on the song, lamenting the conditions of art in Egypt and the deterioration and decline in the general taste of the song. Hassan Shakoush. At the same time, popular campaigns were launched through the media also calling for a boycott of the works of Mohamed Ramadan, against the background of his crisis in circulation with the pilot, who allowed Ramadan to lead his plane, in order to express their rejection of the artistic works and strange songs that they see as one of the reasons for declining public taste and deterioration the morals of generations of youth and the dissemination of behaviors and perceptions that are not appropriate to the nature of society, and do not correspond to the role that art should play. And between Shakosh and Ramadan, millions lined up in defense of society's values, morals and great art, as if those who contributed to the popularity of Ramadan and Shakush are people other than us, or that those who entered on YouTube to see the song Shakosh came from the country of Condom. A recurring old crisis. The crisis is much deeper than just a descending song or a bad movie, and the march of art in Egypt and even in the world confirms that people suffer in certain periods from the spread of a declining quality of the arts. These periods usually follow wars, revolutions, violent social and economic changes or major natural disasters, where society suffers from a state of decline and unbalance that lasts for some time, during which people need rescue efforts and rapid intervention to alleviate the impact of this decline. During the first half of the 20th century, after the British occupation entered the country, Egypt witnessed a wave of regression and decline in the song, which is considered the worst in our contemporary history, and none of the major artists, including Syed Darwish, who presented falling songs of it, escaped from it. Kulthum sang in 1926 Al-Kella and Al-Dalamid B, and she pulled the record of that song in 1953, after a meeting he collected with the late leader Gamal Abdel Nasser, who at the time expressed his annoyance at the proliferation of falling songs in a way that threatens the values of society. In 1927, Muhammad Abdul Wahab also presented the song Vik Ten Kuchen in the balcony, in the context of the songs descending that spread during that stage that started with the First World War 1914–1918, and continued until World War II 1939–1945. But besides those descending works, very serious works that we remember until now were presented, and they did not completely leave the scene for these descending songs in order to express public taste. After the setback of June 1967, and with the beginnings of the 70s, singers such as Ahmed Adawiya and The Prince's Chick appeared, and songs such as Al-Sa Al-Shambo and many others spread, as witnessed at this stage, despite the presence of Abdul Halim Hafiz, who possessed the corner of Arab singing, the phenomenon of audiobooks, and what it was accompanied by the spread of what is known as the microbus song. But the phenomenon of audiobooks was not all evil, but it also contained positive aspects. It was credited with the emergence of a trend in the Egyptian song known later as the alternative song, where different music and different words exist. After the American invasion of Iraq in 2003, we were on a date with the growing phenomenon of Shaban Abdul Rahim and Abdul Basit Hamouda and others, which spread strongly despite the presence of distinguished voices on Al-Haja, Muhammad Munir, Muhammad Al-Helu and other symbols of the serious song. And recently, after the January 25th revolution, new faces appeared in the world of the descending song, and the spread of the song festivals increased, which dominated the taste of the majority of Egyptian youth, passing through the models of the songs of Mahmoud al-Lethi and Marwa, and a new wave of songs that made inappropriate suggestions, and they are photographed in more exciting ways. The train of this color from singing to the song station is the subject of controversy for Hassan Shakoush. Ramadan, and the easy way. The artist Mohamed Ramadan started his short career as a very promising actor, especially when the creator, Yusra Nasrallah, released his energies in the movie Iki Yeshazad, and he also presented a distinctive role in the movie Exit from Cairo 2010, directed by Hisham Ashmawi, but he, apparently, chose the easiest way to achieve wealth and fame, and achieve success quickly goes away with a little time. It was more preferable for Ramadan to search for purposeful values for his art, to renew himself and take care of his talent, but he chose so far to lose a large part of his audience, and was busy presenting works that did not carry any artistic value, so he lost on both sides, the side of art and the image of the star the beloved, and then came up with invitations calling for a boycott of his actions. Regardless of the impact of these invitations on the box office, it will remain a curse chasing him throughout his artistic career, unless he can change that image of him and his art. Shakosh cinema. What applies to singing applies in one way or another to cinema, which suffers from a severe lack of support and production. After the number of films amounted to 70 films per year, the number we produce decreased, so that it is no longer than 10 works per year, which indicates the scale of the crisis. This situation was exacerbated by the state's complete retreat in the past decades from supporting the cinema industry, which threw the entire industry into the arms of the non-specialized private product, which does not occupy it to provide artistic value, as was the case of cinematic producers who like industry, such as producer Asia or artist Magda al-Sabahi. In spite of that, some luminous models remain, such as the experience of the movie The Corridor, which was able to achieve the highest revenues despite the competition of commercial films. But the current cinematic climate in the form of a mother is full of proverbs of Hassan Shakoush. Contracting, it was a very bad and deteriorating phenomenon, but soon the New Realism movement was born at the same stage to present the most wonderful films of Atif al-Tayyib, Muhammad Khan and Khairi Bashara, which we hope will be repeated in our current time, whether in the cinema, drama or singing, and so that we do not leave the square is a pillar for Shakush and Ramadan, and those like them.